Oh, hi, Mike. This is we're calling sir from. How's it going today?
Pretty good.
Wonderful. Mike, real quick, sir. My CEO sent you an email. We decided to give you a call because we saw fit that we can work together. He mentioned you're the founder, CEO as well here at Sales Scripter, right?
hmm
All right, perfect. Please allow me to introduce what we do or who we are is we united a team of nine fully owned elite marketing companies to create a true partner network and to deliver an integrated omni-channel approach for growth. We have been partnering with businesses like yours, and over the past years, we helped them to generate over $500 million in revenue. That's why my CEO is looking at your profile. He's aiming to help you as well to generate new MRR up to $500,000 just within the first year if you're going to be using our strategies and tools. He wanted me to reach out and ask if you'll be open for a quick discovery call with him so he can share with you those strategies and tools which will help your business reach its next level. I'll be happy to send you an invite if you have some time. Maybe next week, sir, or later part of this week.
No, thank you. We're not making any changes right now.
Not, no changes, I see. Sir, we're not expecting you to change. Just want to introduce. Maybe you can put us on your file, and if something comes up, you have us. Um, would you consider a 30-minute chat with him, sir, just to introduce our company?
I don't have availability for that right now.
Not right now. Gotcha. Okay. Sir, I can send you the email again. Perhaps you missed the email. Can I offer you the company portfolio and then so you can take a look and then just let us know if it's something that you guys might be able to utilize?
Sure.
All right, perfect. I'll send you the email, sir, and then let me know. Thank you so much for taking the call. I appreciate it, sir.
Here are three extremely small changes this salesperson could make that would likely have a significant improvement on his cold calling efforts. And the first is to optimize his cold call opener. This salesperson uses what I would refer to as a product selling cold call opener. Product selling is actually what most salespeople do, and that is where a salesperson primarily talks about the product they sell and the company they work for and tries to see if the prospect is interested or needs the product they sell. And when you look at the cold call opener that this salesperson used, it completely aligns with that by him saying, let me introduce the company I work for. This is what we've done in the past, and this is what we're doing today. And really, the last thing he said at the end of his cold call opener was one of the best things he said on the entire cold call, which is where he discussed the amount of revenue he's helped other businesses to generate. And the reason why that is good is because that is the value that his product or his service has to offer the prospect that he's talking to. And so very easily, what we can do to optimize his cold call opener is let's skip all the product and company details and save that for later in the cold call and focus primarily the cold call opener on the value we have to offer. So what that might look like for this actual product or service is, hey, reason for the call is we help businesses to enhance brand visibility and attract a wider customer base. And directly after the value proposition, I actually like to share a soft sales takeaway by saying something like, but I'm not sure if you're looking to improve those areas or not. And that's why I was calling with just a quick question or two. Now, what you're saying here with this value proposition cold call opener does not tell the complete story and does not explain what it is you sell. But what it does do is it focuses on the value you have to offer and why it might be worth the prospect spending a couple minutes on this cold call talking to you. And because we strip out a lot of the product and company details and save that for later in the cold call, we decrease how much we look like a pushy salesperson who's calling to try to sell something, and that can help us to decrease the amount of objections we have to face. And the second thing that we can look at from this cold call is how the salesperson tried to close the prospect. And so this salesperson basically used what I refer to as a quick close. After opening the cold call, the salesperson right away went for asking the prospect if he was available for a meeting on another day with someone else. Now, one thing that is good about this close and what this salesperson was closing for is that he was laser focused on the next step of the sales process, which is talking more and having a meeting or a conversation on another day. What too many salespeople do is that when they're cold calling, they focus on the last step of the sales process by asking the prospect if this is something they're interested in or if this is something they need. So the salesperson was going in the right direction. But my recommendation is that if our goal is trying to close the prospect on talking more in the form of a meeting or an appointment on another day, in order to improve our ability to get the prospect to agree to talk more, we need to focus on finding a reason for the prospect to talk to us more. And the best way to find a reason to talk more is to ask good questions. Learn a little bit about the prospect, and in most cases, find a reason for the prospect to talk more, and then use that reason as a justification for closing the prospect on talking more and moving to the next step in your sales process. So this salesperson could ask what I refer to as pain questions. These are questions that are optimized to try to identify if the prospect has the pain points, challenges, or concerns that the product you sell helps to resolve, minimize, or avoid. Another category of questions that fit really nicely on a cold call are what I refer to as current state questions. These are questions that help you to learn about what the prospect is doing in the area where you have something to sell. And the third thing that we can look at is how this salesperson responded to the main objection that he faced on this cold call. And so these are the four main objections that are going to come up again and again. And the objection that this salesperson faced was, we're not making any changes right now. And actually, he responded this in a really good way. And that is that he mentioned, we're not trying to get you to change anything, just want to do an introduction, and then maybe you can have our information if you need us down the road. I think that is a great way to respond to this objection. But I do want to share you another option for this salesperson regarding how to handle that objection, and that is that if we go back to the sales process, again, if our goal is to close the prospect on the next step, and the next step is simply talking more, having a meeting, prospect says, we're not making any changes right now. Another way to handle that objection is first to focus on just keeping the conversation going. The prospect's trying to end the call right then. So something you can say to simply keep the conversation going is you could deflect that objection by asking one of your pain questions. And before you ask your pain question, you might try to diffuse the prospect's objection by saying something like, hey, I understand. And listen, I want you to know I'm not reaching out to try to sign you guys up. But if I could ask you real quick, and then you transition to asking one of your pain questions. And what this does is this keeps the conversation going and gets you past that objection of, we're not looking at making any changes right now. When you ask one of these questions, most likely the prospect is going to deliver some sort of response. And then you have a couple options. You can either ask another follow-up question based on what the prospect just shared. You can ask a different pain question, or based on the answer the prospect gives you, that might give you a justification for going for the close again. So if the prospect shares something that's not working well, or maybe they don't even have the answer to the question that you're asking, you could then circle back to your close by saying something like, oh, well, that's why I'm reaching out, because we would probably have a productive conversation, because that's the type of stuff that we help with. Are you available for a quick call maybe next Tuesday morning? So this is using a pain question or two to deflect the objection and then find a way to circle back to another close attempt. And you could also use your current state questions in the exact same way. There are certainly times where the current state question might be a better fit here. The prospect says, we're not making any changes right now. Oh, hey, I understand. If I could ask you real quick, do you currently have a marketing agency you're working with, or is that something you're doing internally? So right there, I got away from the objection, and I'm most likely going to get an answer to that question. The prospect's going to say, we're already working with an agency. We have some internal staff. Based on that answer, answer, I can then follow up. Oh, how long have you been working with that agency? Are they doing this for you? Or how many staff do you have internally? And I can keep the conversation going and then find a better moment to go back for my second close attempt. By the way, what I just shared with you right there about deflecting an objection with your pain or current state questions actually works for any of these objections. Now, if you like those tips and you want to implement those for the product or service that you sell, what you would want to do is you would want to create your value proposition and a set of pain questions and a set of current state questions. And we actually have a sales message brainstorming process that will help you to identify the optimum things to say and ask for your product or service. I actually went through this sales message brainstorming process for this salesperson. Now, you might be looking at this and thinking that either A, I don't know if I can go through this process and create all of this for the product or service that I sell, or you might think that you don't have the time or energy to go through this. And I want to show you something really cool because SalesScripter actually has an area called the Sales Message Builder. And this is a piece of software that aligns with that sales message brainstorming process. And the software basically takes you through each of those steps to create an optimum set of things to say and ask for the product or service that you sell. And the really cool thing about this is that we've actually integrated our sales message builder with AI using ChatGPT, where all you have to do is enter the product that you sell, and the software will actually go through each of those steps and communicate with ChatGPT to say, for this particular service, what are the features that are usually sold? What is the value that is delivered? What are the pain points that are solved? What are current state questions that should be asked? And the software combined with ChatGPT will actually create an optimized sales message for the product or service that you sell. And each of those steps that the software goes through, and each of these steps of this process creates what we refer to as building blocks. So you have a value points building block, a pain questions building block, and you can then use those building blocks to create your cold call script. Use them to create your objection responses, an email campaign, voicemail messages, and a lot more. That's actually how the software of SalesScripter works, and that SalesScripter has a sales playbook, which is basically a library of different documents, sales scripts, email messages, and all of these documents mix and match those building blocks to create all of those different documents and sales scripts and emails. And that is pretty much it. If you have any questions or you want more information, the best place to go is salescripter.com. Thanks for being here. Hope this was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.